Hello everyone, welcome to Thursday, December 21st, 2023. We're going to have a look at a training session that I did with Zahia. She's a 6.5-year-old Morelia bredli that arrived here in 2019 when she was 2 years old. And I have several videos of her back then. And she was quite shy. I was teaching her cooperative care behaviors. I was teaching her to target and trying to teach her to shift out of her enclosure. And the most I ever got from her was for her to just shift the front part of her body out onto a station. I could see that this was her personality, and so I got her a rather large enclosure based on my thoughts that she wasn't going to come out very often, and she hasn't. But lately, in the last 6 months, she's shown a little bit more boldness. She's leaving her skyhide more, and she's utilizing more of her enclosure. I've been working with her to try and get her to shift out further and further. And for whatever reason, she's very comfortable with this office trash can. It's very tall, it's on wheels. And so during this training session, she actually shifted completely out of her enclosure onto this trash can on wheels that we're using as a station. Now you'll see that she does leave her tail attached to her skyhide. And rather than wrestle her tail off the skyhide, because she is one of the rare bredli that I have that's kind of averse to being touched and handled. She is okay with targeting. She's okay with me being very nearby, but she's not fond of being touched. So I decided I would just slide her whole skyhide out because she literally brought her whole body completely out of her enclosure and onto this station for the first time. And she just left her tail anchored onto her skyhide. So I just decided I'll slide the whole skyhide out and I'll set it there with her for her security, mainly psychological security, because you can see it's not a very stable anchor hold. And then I just slid her out of the way because I ultimately wanted to do enclosure maintenance. She ate nearby on this improvised station, I should say. It's really a trash can, but I went ahead and cleaned out her enclosure. I rearranged it slightly. I gave her fresh water. And then when I was ready and she was close to being done eating, I wheeled her back over towards her enclosure. But I wanted a way to put her back where I wouldn't have to physically touch her, because that's something we still have to work on. I had taken her skyhide away from her so that I could put it back in her enclosure and have it ready for her and waiting when she got back to her enclosure, because that is the place that she spends 90% of her time, is in that skyhide. So I wanted it there waiting for her when she went back in. I took a cardboard box that dog biscuits came in. I put a wooden dowel through the middle of it so that she could anchor onto that, and I could move her into her enclosure on this wooden dowel, and that way I wouldn't have to touch her, I wouldn't have to stress her out, and by the time she finished swallowing her rodent, she was safe and sound back in her clean enclosure with her familiar skyhide waiting there for her. If you're wondering why I even bothered with the box and why I combined the dowel with the box, it was just to stabilize it from rolling around on that trash can, and also to give her the opportunity to go inside something if she finished eating before I was ready to put her back. I wanted to make sure there was some kind of a hide box there that she could go into if she felt more comfortable doing that. I also wanted to make sure there was something that she could anchor onto, because that seems to be important to her. And so I just combined the box with the dowel. Just for your information, Zahia was hatched on June 22nd, 2017. She was produced by Casey Cannon. And I also have her sibling. I have a clutch mate, and his name is Zalenka. And he is not at all the same personality that she is. She is very shy, kind of averse to human handling, and Zalenka is very bold and outgoing, and he doesn't mind being handled at all. So everybody, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, please remember to always be kind and love your animals.